A friend of mine asked me, how does manifestation work? And I was like, that's a great question. So today in this video, I want to talk about it because I think it's a big thing that a lot of people miss. And if you didn't know, manifestation is not purely spiritual, it's not purely scientific, it's a little bit of both. And what I mean by that is, I'm not really a big believer that there are things that transcend the laws of nature. I think that spirit actually embodies the laws of nature. And that's something I can talk about another time. I'm not really going to do that here. But ultimately, what I want to talk about is this: to manifest something is really to understand the alignment of the forces of action in the world and the result that you want. And the forces of action in our world happen to be emotions, desires, feelings, right? These things orient what is called the unconscious mind. And so, what I'm going to show you today is that the big reason why most people fail to manifest a reality that they truly want is because, one, they don't understand what they truly want. Two, there's a disconnect between what they truly want, what they're naturally good at, and how it helps other people. And three, okay, that it needs to become a habit, a pattern that they embody in all that they do, right? Which means they need to be a part of movements or communities or hang out with other people or listen to people that actually embody these ideas so that they get into this headspace and stay there. So the first thing I want to talk about is this. The big problem that most people face is that they have an idea of the life that they want, but they're not familiar with what motivates them naturally. Okay? And a great example of why this is so important is you may have witnessed people before, and you can talk about this in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've seen lots and lots of people who will play video games for hours and hours and hours. And some of these video games, by the way, will be really complex. They'll require, memorization of hundreds of different bits of useless information, and they'll require hours and hours and hours of practice, and they'll technically take more work than almost anything else this person has to do in their life, and yet people will effortlessly achieve the video game but not do anything valuable in their life. And the question is, why is it so easy to do something so complex and actually mentally demanding if you really think about it, whereas something as simple as maybe going to the gym for 15 minutes a day, which takes very little time, takes very little action, might take a little bit of self-control because, yeah, it might be a little bit uncomfortable, but compared to beating your head against the wall because you can't win the game, or trying to memorize every stat in the game so that you can, figure out how to, win or whatever, which is what some of these obsessive people do, is technically harder in every way. So the question is, how is one easy when there's more steps, more actual work involved than the other one? And the answer is motivation. You see, the truth is you need to study yourself. Get in touch with your soul, with your spirit. Your spirit is the drives, the things that create passion in your life. Look, everybody has passions. Some people it's their family. Some people it's a hobby. Some people it's just the act of being creative. Everybody has different passions, different things that motivate them. And the way you know your passions is by discovering things that you can't help but do. What are things you can't help but do? And I think it's interesting because I think video games, for people who struggle with them, something that I've never really dealt with, but for people who do, right, I find that it usually reveals something about them. There's something in the video game that the video game is playing to that is a true motivator in their life. And if they were to pay attention to that and figure out what it was and think about how they could create their real life in that image and create a goal that would achieve that in real life, then they would actually be just as motivated at achieving things in real life, and life would come just as effortless. You see, this is the secret. The secret is that to manifest something, you need to first off know how to motivate yourself. You need to know what you want. And when you know what you want with absolute certainty, you will take action to go get it. But that isn't enough, because here's the problem. There is also an issue most people don't think of. This is the issue of natural talent. You see, some people are really good at some things and other people are not. We all know this. We've all seen it. But here's the thing. What you're innately most attracted to isn't always what you're most naturally good at. But even if that's true, that there's a disconnect there, the beautiful thing is when you get creative, there's always a way to combine them. And so what I find is oftentimes people's big problem is that they don't figure out how to take their natural motivations and combine them with their natural talents. Because until your natural motivations and your natural talents line up, you will never find life effortless. Because the only things that happen effortlessly are things that you're naturally good at, because they're the easiest things you can do, right, and learn at and excel at. And your natural motivations are the only things that will actually get you to take action, to do stuff, and learn stuff, right? So if those things are out of joint, you're never really going to make any progress. But finally, there's one last thing you have to consider. Because even if you get all your motivations lined up with your natural talents, you may not actually be providing value for other people, and it may not be something that other people can share. And so this is the final secret to truly manifesting a reality where things come effortless and automatic to you, and you feel truly fulfilled, you feel truly at peace and happy and motivated and ready to go for life, is you need to turn your passions, your motivations, and your skills into shareable, valuable things. So that's what this channel is dedicated to doing. It's dedicated to helping people not only get in touch with their motivations, not only discover their talents, but to learn how to use those to give something valuable and shareable to other people, so that those talents and drives can become a natural ramp of success for them. So if you like this way of thinking, if you like this philosophy, and you thought this video was well done, then why not share with a friend? Why not be a win-winner and help someone else win while you win? Because the fact is when you help other people around you win, they're very likely to give back. So until next time, stay magical.